Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. So I've got a question. I've been wondering this for a long time, to be honest with you, but I've finally gone and done the research. I was always wondering, why are we called the Blues? And more specifically, why are we called the Blue Baggers or the Baggers? The Blues part's pretty simple. I've actually gone back in history and I've gone through all the bits of information that you can find on the internet about this, and I think I found the answer. So what I'm going to do in this video is take you back in time. I'm going to go down this rabbit hole, and when I was doing this, I actually found a number of different nicknames that we had prior to landing on the Blues, and then I guess the secondary nickname that we have, which is the Baggers or the Blue Baggers. So let's go from the very beginning. So from the outset, we actually used to be known as the Wanderers. Now, this made sense. This came about during our earlier transit years before they had established a permanent base for us at Princes Park, which is also known as Optus Oval, which is also known as Icon Park. But if we go a little further forward, we get to 1870. We were known as the Yellow Caps. Now, this is weird. I don't know if this was actually a permanent nickname, but we were referenced as the Yellow Caps in a number of news articles. So, for example, in an article in 1870, on the 13th of June, by The Age, they published a story. The title was interesting. The title was Out with the Bulldogs. Now, I don't know if this was in reference to us. I don't know if we were known as the Bulldogs, but there's another one for you. And I'm going to read you a little excerpt from there. So it goes like this. So we played a game against the Melbourne Footy Club, and it goes like this. Now then, here they come. The contending forces file out of the gate behind the pavilion, mingling for the time in noisy fraternity. It looks cold in the Guernsey, but the work will be hot soon. The red caps of Melbourne and the yellow of Carlton. Hurrah for Carlton, since that's where we hail from. The hurrahs of our side are echoed with shouts for the Metropolitans by the others. Fascinating. So the Yellow Caps is there. Now, at that time as well, we were known as the Butchers, which is so left field and seems so random, but when you understand why, it does make sense. Now, prior to the blue being really introduced into the Guernsey and into, I guess, the identity of the club, we used to wear these uniforms, which had the color chamois. Chamois? Chamois. And these obviously had a resemblance to the attire of a butcher. Now, in 1871, at the Carlton AGM, so this was held at the Carlton Club Hotel, among the many items on the agenda, there was the following, and this was reported in The Age again in 1871. So amongst the general business disposed of was the changing of the club's uniform from the old colour, orange and blue, to a dark blue. So this is when we start to see this uniform come into existence. As you can see, maybe they keep the chamois up the top and they introduce the blue. I'd love to see this uniform reincarnated now. I think it'd be super cool. We had a number of other nicknames up until that point that were seen in newspaper articles, such as the Barbars, the Blue Rocks, the Brewers, the Huskies, and then we come to the Cockatoos. Now, when I found this out, it took me down a sub rabbit hole, which I do want to bring to the table here because I don't know how many more times in modern day history someone's going to actually be reporting on this. So we were actually called the Cockatoos for a little while, so much so that the club considered at a point in time making the cockatoo a mascot. Tony DeBolfo, the Carlton historian, actually wrote an article about Cocky Ma in February of 2010. It's believed that Cocky Ma was born at some point in the 1930s, maybe earlier. He was owned by Robert St. Mar, who's also known as Bob. He was a Carlton member or subscriber, as they were known, from as far back as 1902. So every second Saturday, Cocky Ma stood defiantly in the outer at Princes Park, behind the Heatley stand, greeting each Carlton goal with a high-pitched squawk of "Go Blues" and wildly flapping wings. So obviously Cockatoos had this ability to talk. If anyone is in the comments who has any recollection of this, I would love some more information. Now, Cocky Ma had an idol who was Harry Vallance, the champion forward for the Blues. And it's actually also been reported that Cocky used to scream out, "Up there, Soapy." So an interesting time. So look, I understand at this point, the Blues, where it comes from, but we still haven't answered the question about the baggers or the blue baggers. So of what I found online, it's a very interesting link. But what I could find was that the expression blue baggers derived from an old laundry product used in most Australian households from as early as 1882 and really after World War II as well. And this was called Reckitt's Blue. So it came in a small muslin bag, and Reckitt's Blue was put in the copper or washing machine to whiten whites and brighten colors. So check this out. So in the Punch on the 25th of June 1908, the club was referred to as the Blue Bags in what was a rather casual article compared to the more formal references found in Argus and The Age at the time. That's the Blue Bags part, really interesting. It's also been referred to online. The blue bag is just a term that links all of us together. But from what I saw on Reddit, from what I saw on the Blueseum website, from what I saw in commentary just around the internet, that is as far back as I could find, and that is the closest link I could find as to why we are called the baggers in general. So there you go. Now, if I've missed something, please add to it or add some context below in the comments. This video will live on forever, but it got me thinking, because we don't, as time goes on and as history continues to get written, it's really easy to forget certain aspects of what happened. So now that we have this modern day internet era, digital era documentation of everything, I want to make sure that the story is right. And I want to make sure that anyone who was potentially alive at the time, who might be watching this, or knows someone that was alive at the time of watching this video, can add some context below. That'd be really important. So let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. Go Blues, go Baggers, go Cockatoos. Can you imagine that? Go the Cockies. Anyway, speak soon. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also go and check out the BA shop. We've got hoodies, t-shirts, AirPods case covers, key rings, water bottles, and of course, the BA pin. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks again for your support. It really does mean the world. And of course, go Blues.